It was a night like no other when I first saw it, the bright moon shining on the still river, the sound of water barely rippling, and there she was, Princess Amina, standing at the edge of the water, her heart filled with sorrow, yet unaware of the fate that awaited her. I should have warned her, but how could I have known? Let me tell you the story from the beginning, before everything changed. Princess Amina was the most beautiful woman in the entire village. Her skin shone like polished copper, and her eyes held the wisdom of the ancestors. She was kind, gentle, and her laughter could light up even the darkest corners of the land. The men from all over our village, and from many distant places, tried to win her heart. But every single one of them was turned away, rejected with a smile and a soft word. Her heart, it seemed, was not for any of them. For many months, rumors spread about the princess. Some said she was waiting for a prince from another land. Others whispered that she had fallen in love with someone, but that person had vanished without a trace. It was no secret that she didn't want to marry any of the men who came to her, not even the ones who were noble and strong, with titles and riches. Every time they asked for her hand, she would gently refuse and walk away, leaving them heartbroken and confused. But I, being a simple villager, saw something different in her. I saw the pain in her eyes, the loneliness she hid beneath her beauty. I didn't know what she was truly searching for, but I could sense she was waiting for something beyond the ordinary. And that's when I started to notice the strange things that no one else saw. Every evening, after the sunset, Princess Amina would walk alone to the river. She would sit by the water and stare into its depths, as if she were waiting for something to rise from the shadows of the river's dark waters. I thought it strange, but said nothing. After all, it was the prince's choice. One evening, I followed her. My curiosity got the better of me, and I hid behind the tall grass near the riverbank. I watched as she knelt by the water, whispering softly into the night air. She was speaking in a language I didn't understand, but I could feel the sincerity in her voice. It was then that I saw it. From the water emerged a shape, long and shimmering, like the tail of a serpent, gliding gracefully towards the shore. My heart skipped a beat. I had heard the elders speak of river spirits and creatures that lived in the water, but I never believed it to be true. And there it was, a serpent, its eyes glowing faintly in the moonlight. Amina did not flinch. She held out her hand to the creature, and to my shock, the serpent slowly coiled around her arm, its cold, smooth scales brushing against her skin. She smiled softly, as if greeting an old friend. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. What was happening? Then, the most incredible thing occurred. The serpent's body began to change. It stretched and twisted, and before my very eyes, it transformed into a man, a tall, handsome man with dark, glistening eyes and hair like the river's deep waters. He was no longer a serpent, but something ... more. A man who had once been a serpent. Amina didn't seem surprised. She embraced him as if this was the most natural thing in the world. It was clear that the love she had been searching for was not in any of the village men. It was here, in the river, in the form of the serpent who had waited for her all this time. The man spoke, his voice deep and smooth. "Amina, my love, you have waited for me as I have waited for you." And she answered, "I knew you would come to me, even though I did not know when or how." I watched, hidden in the shadows, my heart filled with awe and confusion. What was this? How could a serpent be a man? How could she have known? It wasn't long before the serpent-turned man bent down and kissed her softly on the lips. As they kissed, the air around them seemed to shimmer, as though the earth itself was acknowledging the bond between them. In that moment, I knew this was no ordinary love. It was a love that defied the rules of the world, a love that was destined. The days passed, and before long, Amina married the man from the river. The whole village was shocked when they heard of it, for no one had expected this mysterious stranger to win the heart of their princess. The wedding was quiet but beautiful, held under the canopy of trees by the river where they had first met. But as Amina entered her new home with her husband, something changed. That night, I was nearby when I heard a loud, piercing scream. I ran toward the sound, my heart racing. What I saw when I arrived made my blood run cold. Amina was standing at the edge of the room, her face pale and her eyes wide with terror. She was shaking, and her voice trembled as she screamed, "No, no, you're not a man." Her husband, who had appeared as a man, was now no longer standing upright. His body had transformed, slowly but surely, back into the shape of a serpent. The once glistening man was now a massive serpent, its long coils slithering across the floor. The creature hissed and stared at Amina with glowing eyes, its tongue flicking out, as if it was about to strike. Amina stumbled backward, her screams echoing through the house. "Help, help," she cried. The villagers, who had been watching from a distance, heard the cries and rushed to her aid. They broke down the door and saw the serpent, its body twisting toward Amina. Without thinking, the men of the village grabbed their weapons and fought. The serpent hissed angrily, but it was too late. The villagers surrounded it, and with one final strike, they killed the creature. The serpent's body twitched and then went still, lifeless on the floor. Amina collapsed, shaking, into the arms of the villagers, tears streaming down her face. She was safe, but her heart was broken. She had married the serpent, believing he was a man, only to discover the terrifying truth too late. The village, though shocked and saddened by the turn of events, promised to protect her and never let such a thing happen again. As for Amina, she never spoke of what had happened by the river, and the villagers never asked. But I saw her once more, walking quietly by the river, her eyes filled with sorrow. She had found love in a place no one could understand, and had lost it in the same way. A love that could never truly belong to this world. And that is the story of Princess Amina and the serpent. A love so strange, so powerful, that it ended in tragedy, leaving only whispers and memories behind. Thanks for staying with us to the end of this story. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also turn on your notification bell to always be notified on our new series. Also like, comment, and share for more. We love you. Bye.